Yeah.
Hey yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man. The fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you're mad at me just by how your face looks.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Phil and Leroy the Judgmental Podcast.
This Phil back in the house.
And I'm Leroy. What's been going on, Phil?
Ain't nothing much. I wish you was over here early to help me paint.
Was you by yourself?
Yeah.
No. Why you ain't saying anything?
I was just trying to get it done.
No.
But I do my deck. You know what I mean? So there you go.
Shit. My back hurt.
I'll be calling you for it.
My back hurting.
Probably next Saturday.
My back hurt.
All right, you got a whole week to recover.
So, did you finish watching the James Jordan documentary?
I got one episode left. That guy's an idiot too, by the way.
Which one?
The one that the brother, the young bull.
Uh-huh. Why you
If
say
both,
that?
if both your lawyers want a mistrial, you supposed to take their advice. The judge straight asks you, do you want a mistrial? You're going to say no. And now you get fucking, I don't know, life or 30, 50 years, whatever. That's on you. You's an asshole.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So,
Because that not meaning to cut you off, but that defense lawyer, when he said that, he knew what he was doing and he knew that was illegal. So if your lawyers say go for the mistrial and they both want a mistrial, you don't fight against your lawyers.
right. Other than that, what you think about the documentary?
I think I still got one episode left. Is hard to understand. Like him and that boy was best friends growing up, and his friend, he got him into that shit because he was chilling with a girl he didn't even want to go.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And now he the one got to do the bid for the whole thing. But he's an idiot for wearing the dead man's jewelry in the video. He say he got it out of the car. But still, we talking about a body here. Like, you don't want no
Right.
parts of that. When he took you out there to see that, you supposed to say, oh, hell no, I'm out.
Exactly.
Even if you don't dime him out, you still don't get involved in that shit.
Cause when he came over his house and told him what happened, and when he came over my house, I'd have been like, oh no,
And
hell no.
that was weird too, how all of them was young, but their parents was allowing like all these dudes and girls like over their crib just like hanging out and stuff. You know what I mean? Late.
Right.
Like it's like a mixed sleepover for teenagers. Like, who does that?
hmm That's how it is in the South. You know, they ain't nothing else to do. They get busy early.
And he's sitting in the video with all the dead man jewelry and stuff.
Right. Now you know what's up doing all that rapping and and all
Yep.
that shit.
I still think Jordan knows something that he don't want to say
See,
because
because it was like they was trying to, when I was telling you, they was like trying to imply like something was going, like he was up to something. I don't know. Was
like
he
you said,
too-
like he had a another life, like a hidden life or something. Like,
right?
who does that? Just drive off for days and your family don't look for you or call you because they know you are. Yeah, okay. Who
Right.
does that?
And
And
we
then go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I
I was
was
about
going
to
to say,
go ahead.
and then what Michael Jordan saying, like, do you want to know who killed your dad? And he said, no, I don't want to know. You know what I mean?
hmm
Like, who wouldn't want to know, like, who killed their relative? Like, you want to know what happened to him. You want to know all the details that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then it's just weird. It's just a whole, like I said, I think Jordan might have had some involvement in that. He probably did somebody wrong. And they said, the hell with your money. This is what we going to do.
So you think it was a gambling thing?
Yeah, I think he owed somebody some money, and because they say he owed a lot of people money, he had the money, but he just wouldn't pay them.
Yeah.
Like, after a while, like, people get tired of that shit. They just say, you know what, keep the money. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, that's what rich people do. They'll you already know he got the money to cover it, so they feel as though they can just keep going and going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
Until
keep. It's almost like put it on my tab. Put it on my tab. All right, well, when you gonna pay that tab? You know
right.
what I mean?
It's like they'll pay you when they want to, because we heard the stories about Donald Trump. He was hard on trying to get money from when he had to pay people that done work for him.
Yep.
Yeah, you had to like twist his arm to get your
Got
money.
all this money, and they don't want to. I guess that's how you stay rich.
Mm-hmm.
Burn them motherfuckers. Because even Jay-Z, they said Jay-Z was burning a lot of people. He owed money. Beans, DMX, he owed all them people money, and he's like a billionaire and still ain't never paid nobody.
Right. What I was gonna say is, like how we talked about last week about how they're pulling over and shit to sleep.
Yeah, that's
they don't,
crazy.
they don't even sound right.
Your son is one of the richest athletes in the world, and you pulling over on a highway to go to sleep. That don't
Right.
sound right.
An old dusty area right around that damn. It was like a homotel right
Yeah.
around that area that they selling drugs and shit out of. Yeah.
And Jordan said, I'm glad my dad got to see my last game. But then he still came back and play. So why would you say that if you still had dreams of coming back to play?
So speaking of North Carolina, we gonna go to Fayetteville. We have Tara Nicole Vinson, Fort Bragg soldier, shot and killed another service woman after discovering the victim was dating her ex-boyfriend. Here's the video. Well, the report. I keep saying video because me and you were both watching it.
22-year-old Keela Horton lived in this apartment complex in Spring Lake. Friends on social media say she was a loving mother of two beautiful children. Orlando Davis lives downstairs from Horton's apartment.
I bumped into her many a times. I seen her before. I didn't actually know her, but I seen her before a lot.
What comes to your head knowing that she was murdered Friday?
Oh, that's a sad thing. It's a sad thing.
Horton was a Fort Bragg soldier. So is the woman accused of killing her, 26-year-old Tiara Vinson. District Attorney Billy West says the two women had more than just their military service in common.
What we appear to have is that the defendant had a previous relationship with a gentleman that lived at the location where the homicide occurred.
That location is the 1400 block of Ferndale Drive in Fayetteville. West says on Friday afternoon, Vincent and Horton arrived at the gentleman's home about the same time, and that's when the altercation began.
Our victim was in an existing romantic relationship with the gentleman that lived in the home. A verbal altercation took place between the two of them, and our allegation is that the defendant at that point then began firing into the car.
Investigators say Horton was struck multiple times. Medics rushed her to Cape Fear Valley Medical Center, where she died 2 days before Mother's Day. Vincent is charged with first-degree murder and shooting into an occupied vehicle.
So yeah, the papers say that because they made it seem like that news report, that news article piece that we just listened to, kind of seemed like both of the ladies came at the same time. But the paper said that the victim was in the car with the. I want to know if that guy's a soldier or not. I'm since
He
I'm
is.
think. Oh, okay. So they said
What
that
else? I think he is. I'm pretty sure he is. I think I read somewhere that he said he was.
the article said that the victim and the guy was in the car together, and a girl had popped up, and she was trying to shoot him, but she shot her, and that's just absolutely ridiculous to even be involved in shit like that.
She wasn't trying to shoot him. He walked away with a clean scratch. What I heard is when she pulled up, an argument. They going back and forth arguing, and then that's when the girl pulled out the gun and shot her.
Mm. Horton was a motor pool clerk assigned to the 525th Military Intelligence Brigade. Horton joined the Army in 2017. What's a motor pool clerk?
The motor pool is where like the vehicles are stored, like all your trucks, your Humvees, and a motor pool clerk. She'll do like you need a driver's license. Like every time you need to drive a military vehicle, you got to get a license for it. Like you'll have a license, but you have to get a dispatch for that vehicle. So you have to go to the motor pool, which is like a big garage. You go there, they go on a computer, they print out a dispatch for that vehicle. Let's say this Humvee is like H1. The dispatch would say H1 assigned to PFC blankety blank, and it'll have like this how long you get to have it from this date to this date. After that, it runs out, so you can't get it. As long as you got it in that time frame, you're good. After that time frame, you need to go get a new dispatch, or you need to not drive that vehicle.
Okay. Vincent of Norfolk, Virginia, was a parachute rigger assigned to the 3rd Special Forces Group. Vincent joined the Army in 2014. Now, what's a parachute rigger?
I believe a parachute rigger is the ones that set the parachutes up. But from like in my unit, a lot of the times you do your own parachutes. You know what I mean? So I don't know like exactly like how they got going on over there, parachute rigger. What I believe is, I think she sets up the parachutes and stuff. It's like sound like a BS MOS though. Like how many parachutes you got to rig? You're not, this not like an airborne type of unit. You know what I mean? So if you're not an airborne unit, what are you doing with parachutes and all this?
Right. I thought you was going to say the same thing, that was a BS position about the motor pool clerk.
What, the motor pool? No, the motor pool
Yeah.
clerk is important. When I joined the military, because I got two MOSs. So one of my MOS is just your military job. One of my MOSs was 92 Alpha, and the 92 Alpha, that covers like 5 different jobs, and one of the jobs you cover would be a motor pool clerk, where you do like driver. If somebody need a license, you do the driver's license, you do the dispatches, you work on a computer, you make sure all the vehicles are, green, up and ready to go, stuff like that. You know what I mean? You make sure
Right.
all your paperwork is right. So I had that MOS too for a little while. Well, I still got it, but I had, you know what I mean? But it's not it is an important job, because any vehicle that leaves, anytime you see somebody driving a military vehicle, they need a dispatch, and dispatch got to have their name on it, and if they got an assistant driver, their assistant name, and they got to match up with your civilian driver's license and your military license, that information, and you got to have like the commander sign off on it. So you can't, like a regular Joe just can't go run and grab a Hummer, drive around and think he cool like that, because if you get pulled over, or even if you don't get pulled over, somebody say, "Where's the dispatch?" and you pull a dispatch out, and they do random checks. You know what I mean? You don't have a dispatch, that's your ass.
Okay, now in terms of inspection, registration, and the upkeep of the car, who's in charge of that? Or the vehicle, instead of saying car, or the military vehicle, who's in charge of that?
Well, is the people, is your mechanics in the motor pool, and is your unit. I mean your section. Let's say you would a recon section. It might be like 30 of y'all. Recon is allowed to have maybe 12 vehicles. So those 12 vehicles, every drill y'all got to maintain them. Even though they're your vehicles, you still got to go through this, the motor pool to get dispatches. You can't just drive even though they're assigned to y'all. You can't just drive them. You still got to get a dispatch, an up to date dispatch on them. So they have like weekly, monthly, and yearly checks. So like it's different levels. Like I don't know. You have like a level one. I think it'd be like, I forget what they call it now since I've been out for a while. But it's let's say level one would be change the oil, not change the oil, but put oil in the vehicle, put change the tire, stuff like that. But then when it comes to level two and level three, certain stuff depending on, you know what I mean, you can't do it. Certain when they get to a certain level, you're not supposed to do it. Only mechanics, military mechanics are allowed to do it. You do like the real easy basic stuff, but like change your headlight, you know what I mean? You got to go through the motor pool to get that done. That's above your pay grade pretty much.
Right. Okay.
So like my last I want to say like my last 10 years I had a striker. So on my striker I
Now,
got my
what's
own.
it? Well, hold on. What's a striker?
A striker is like a wheeled tank. It's like a tank, but it got the big wheels. It's better than a tank because the tank's got tracks. And once them tracks get fucked up, you in trouble. But with the striker, you got the big tires. They can get shot. They can still roll on. They got like the run flats. You got
Mhm.
different type of weapons you can put on it. You can put a cannon on it. You can put a 50 cal machine gun on it. You can hang out the back with like troops shooting out of the back. And once you go inside and lock it up, nobody can get in there. And then again, most strikers can uh IEDs and bombs and stuff, where like Humvees and some of the other vehicles get blown up. Strikers a lot of times are cool. So like I had a crew on my striker, and I would have, you get your own driver. So I would have my driver and one of my air guards. I would have them. Let's say we ready to go somewhere. I'd be like, go get the striker ready. So they know to like check the oil, to make sure all our liquids is cool, to get everything going, get the dispatch, they do everything. You know what I mean? When I come out, we should be ready to roll.
So, we're going to talk about Colorado State Representative Richard Holthoff. He's under fire during a House session meeting. I'm not going to tell you what he said. You'll listen to it here.
A Republican state legislator who previously downplayed his colleagues' concerns about racism at the state capitol called another legislator buckwheat today. That led to a pretty hot exchange that shut down the House for a time this morning. Republican Representative Richard Holtorf from Akron has a history of making offensive comments, but he still managed to surprise his colleagues with this.
In many ROE rules, you're not allowed to fire until fired upon, because that is when your safety, that is when your life is threatened. I'm getting there. Don't worry, buckwheat. I'm getting there. Now, what I'd like to say, that's an endearing term, by the way.
Bullshit.
Representative Holtorf, we must maintain order in here and not refer to any individuals other than in any inappropriate manner. So please do not do that any further.
Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Holt,
why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling at me?
It is not clear who exactly Representative Holtorf was referring to by the racist stereotype buckwheat. You heard him exchanging words with Democratic Rep. Tom Sullivan. Perhaps you recall we covered in this program.
Sullivan is a white guy, but they were trying to say that he may have been talking to him because they've been going back and forth with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and finish.
Holtorf once told Sullivan that he needed to get over the murder of his son in the Aurora Theater shooting. Holtorf returned following the recess to offer one of those "if I offended anybody" apology non-apologies. Representative Leslie Herod, member of the Black Legislative Caucus, wrote on social media, quote, "This is what I have to deal with every damn day."
My man sounds like he don't even like the guy, the reporter. Yeah, well, calm down, buckwheat. I'm just using that as a term of endearment because I could have called you a nigger with a hard ER at the end of it. These
but
people.
he was talking to a white guy, right?
Well, they trying to say that he was talking to the Sullivan. Sullivan is a white guy.
Well, whoever interrupted him and then he said calm down, that's who he was talking to. It ain't hard to figure out who he was talking to.
Yeah. Hey, look, these people, we put these people in offices and this is what we get. They're not the brightest bulbs in the room. They're not bright because you would think like, boy, he probably now went to school and got this degree and that degree, and he gonna use a term like buckwheat in a hearing that everybody would be able to hear. They're not bright at all. So we have a little viral video that was viral like what, Tuesday, Wednesday, with these kids playing Pop Warner football in this shitty ass drill that well, I'm just going to talk through it because it's not really there's no audio. So
run.
There's an Oklahoma drill with a bunch of damn 7-8-year-olds. Oklahoma drill is a drill where is two players on this opposite sides of each other, and you pretty much run full speed of them to tackle them. It's like a tackling drill. Mm-hmm. But to me, I always when we was playing and we used to do that drill, I used to always think it was stupid anyway, because when are you in that position when you playing football where somebody's going to run full speed at you to have that contact? If you have the ball, you trying to avoid being tackled, right?
Yeah.
So why we even do the damn drill anyway?
Shit, I was like 130 pounds, man. I was trying to avoid anybody touching me.
Right. So
that drill used to be around for years, and it was pointless and stupid to begin with. Like you said, because most offensive players are trying to avoid that hit, and right. Defensive players are the one trying to lower the boot. It's not like little kids shouldn't be doing that, but they've realized that nobody should be doing like that anyway. Tackling has been taught the wrong way for years, and that's why people get fucked up.
Right. And see, both of the kids was in the wrong because the tackler, I don't know what he was trying to hit, but you supposed to go low to try to tackle somebody. It was like almost like he didn't really know what to do. And the ball carrier,
I think the ball carrier hit him before he could react. When he made that turn, I think he was trying to adjust to figure out what he was going to do to make the tackle, and the ball just lowered the boom on him.
So the ball the guy with the ball lowering the boom, as Philip said, he was in the wrong also because he lowered his head for contact. Well, see, back in the day, that was okay. That was okay tackle, but now that's a crowning. That'll be a crowning penalty because you can't lower your head like that. They hit somebody on the top of the crown of your head. That's why they call it crowning.
Right.
So there was a number of NFL players, college players, former college players that talked about how bad it is, and we have well, first of all, Pop Warner. It was a Pop Warner game. So the Pop Warner spokesperson made this comment about it. We are deeply disturbed by the video. What was you about to say something?
Sure you are. No, I wasn't.
Yeah. We're deeply disturbed about the video and are investigating. If in fact it was Pop Warner coaches leading these drills, we take action. Pop Warner spokesperson Brian Hefferson told Fox News. What we saw was dangerous and frankly offensive to the overwhelming majority of our coaches who teach the sport the right way. We expect every coach to adhere and mandate training and focus on the proper, safe progressions of tackling techniques, including practicing against dummies, particularly at such a young age. Over the past 10 years, Pop Warner has instituted a number of player safety rules, and this example runs counter to our practices.
They're trying to clean it up now. They don't
Right.
care about how the tackling is being done because if they did, all the coaches would have had some type of training or class to know better than that.
And it was almost like they was like trying to like cheer it on, especially the,
Yeah.
the ball carrier. The video was like real quick, but you can hear him at the end of it. Former Giants offensive lineman Jeff Schwartz wrote, "This isn't funny at all. This culture at the youth level needs to change." Your boy, former Eagles receiver Torrey Smith wrote, "Attention all parents. If your kid is doing this drill, take your child off the field and don't go back to those stupid coaches. Coaches like this aren't safe and are ruining the image of football." Former Steelers linebacker James Harrison, which is funny that he made this quote because he's always getting in trouble hitting people. And
Now you talking about now when you said my bull, Torrey Hurt ain't my bull, but this
Torrey
boy
Smith.
is my bull.
Torrey,
Yeah,
no,
Torrey
I'm talking
Smith.
about your boy because he was on the Eagles. That's why I said that. And he was always getting in trouble, hitting people high and all that shit.
Yeah, he used to fuck people up though.
He's going to be a pro wrestler in a TV show on Stars. You know, Arrow got a show on Stars where he's going to be playing a pro wrestler. And it was funny when I saw the trailer. I'm like, damn, James Harrison is on a show and shit. And it's so
I'll
funny.
have to check that out.
And it's so funny because the way he looked is like almost he can fit into playing that role. But James Harrison used two angry faces emojis. That means he's very upset.
Out of all people, you're upset when you the ringleader that used to do this in the NFL.
He wrote, I quote, this right here is exactly why I wouldn't let my boys play tackle until I was done playing, so I could be there to make sure they're being taught the right way. And if they aren't being taught the right way, I'm going to take those coaches and strangle their necks. I just put that part in. Where's the standards and regulation for who's coaching our young kids? This is a setup from the start. They knew damn well what was about to happen. That's pretty much what we just said.
Yeah.
It's like they automatically knew that was going to happen.
And the coaches should have to go through some type of training classes, whatever, before they allowed to coach. But they don't have nothing like that.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I did watch Mortal Kombat during the week. Actually, to be honest with you, it wasn't really a bad movie. It was entertaining, but my only negative about it is that damn plot was so sped up. I'm like, what the hell? And
yeah,
in terms of the characters, you can help us with this one. I don't really know. I only know the Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Raiden, Sonya Blade, and Jax. I seen Jax because when they show those fatality clips on IGN, I know, and he was the only brother, and he had armor on his arms.
Right.
Yeah, but all other now the lead guy, is he a arcade character?
Who was the lead guy?
The what was the one that was born with the
You
the
talking
dragon?
about Sub-Zero? You talking about Scorpion's son?
Yeah, well, it wasn't his son. It was like a relative, a bloodline. He was in the same bloodline. Because, well, remember, Scorpion, this was like in the 1500s when he died or whatever, but the kid was saved. So the kid
I
is
thought
like,
he was the kid, and that was his either his. I thought that was his son, or
no,
his grandson,
no,
because
When,
he was the
when
kid, wasn't he?
no, because when Sub Zero killed him, well, I don't even think he was Sub Zero. Well, he was Sub Zero because it was cold outside when he walked in.
Mm-hmm.
When Sub Zero killed him, that was like 1545 or something like that. And the kid that they hid was like that, like extended the bloodline. So he was like a part of the bloodline. That wasn't his kid. And I'm trying to figure out, was he a
Well,
character or not?
they messed up because when he came out and they said that he's the guy from the bloodline, I swore that he was the kid. So what happened to the kid?
The kid was his bloodline. The kid
No,
made. Oh, remember. Raiden is the lightning guy, right?
yes.
Raiden had said that he found the kid. Remember, he came and he got the kid, and the
Mm-hmm.
kid stayed with him in that little in that cave or whatever. So the kid grew up and went on about her life.
See, I thought the kid was him, so I'm gonna have to look at it again because I could have swore that the kid was what's the name?
And,
Scorpion's son.
and then that Sonya Blade knew so much about him, but she didn't have the emblem.
Goddamn regular girl fighting with all these fucking. Here we go with this.
Well, she gets down there with them, and they already said like, well, look, you can't fight because you don't have the emblem or whatever. Why is she still hanging around? Why you just didn't go home? See, I already knew like, oh, okay, she gonna beat the big mouth dude. What was his name? Kano. She gonna beat Kano and
Mm-hmm.
take his emblem, and that's just what happened too.
Yep, that was predictable, and he's a real guy too. Kano.
Now, was his face scarred like that, or they just change it up?
I can't remember. I wasn't a big Mortal Kombat guy. You know what I mean? I played a little bit, but I wasn't like all deep into it like that.
And they do it so funny, like he couldn't find his powers, and all of a sudden he gets his powers, and he come back, and he can beat everybody up. And Sonya Blade,
What's the name? I think what's the name did that for him. What's the Raiden? I think not
Raiden,
Raiden. What was the bad guy named?
uh,
Sub
uh,
Zero.
no, oh, I
Was
thought you was
Sub
talking
Zero,
about.
wasn't it?
No, I thought you was talking about Tang's son, the guy
Oh, that was
the boss of
Sub
bosses.
Zero's master. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, either him. I can't remember. Either him or Sub Zero helped him like get his powers, and that's why when he came back, he was like all kicking ass and knowing how to use his powers. Then.
Hmm. And Sonya Blade, she just kills the guy, and all of a sudden she can use her powers and all that type of shit. Now, it was
Mhm.
that Sonya?
That was stupid.
Now, was that her powers that she had?
I can't remember her having powers. Like she really wasn't supposed to be there. That's just the bottom line.
No, she
And when
wasn't.
she
You're
killed
right.
when she killed one of the chosen ones, it should have been that he's dead. You don't get the emblem, and now you get to compete.
Right.
That was kind of stupid. That was like a woman's power, John, so they can hang around in the fight.
Right. And she just waking up, eating with him, and training with him. What are you doing here? What are you doing here
Hmm.
if you don't have it? And then my man Jax, they give Jax these damn shitty ass arms, but all of a sudden he gets his powers and his arms get bigger. All of a sudden he in trouble. His arms can get bigger, and
Well,
now he can lift stuff.
when he had the little raggedy arms, I'm like, what's going on here? I already knew something was up. I'm like, yo, he's not supposed to be like that. He's supposed to have like big metal arms. What is this?
And another thing that was funny too, because when Scorpion came back to have that final fight with Sub Zero, and they did
Mhm.
get over here. Here's a guy that didn't speak lick of English, but he says get over here with, with full English. And full English. That was absolute bullshit. And yes, all y'all Mortal Kombat fans, yes, they did say finish him and fatality and Kano wins and all that type of shit. It was goofy. That was a little goofy, campy shit. But for a movie to,
Well, they had to throw a shout out to a little bit of the original stuff. That's why they did that.
right. I wouldn't pay for to see this shit, but it quote unquote did well, based on our circumstances. It did well in the box office, so I'm assuming there's going to be another one. I wouldn't pay to see it, but something I can just watch on the weekend. It was on or something. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it.
It was entertaining, but they need like a new director or writer or something to do a better script than that.
Yeah. The fight scenes, well, as Philip said, they had to make a homage to the video game. So the fight scenes, it was very graphic, and they had fatalities and what's the girl with the Joker mouth? Wasn't her like her back was didn't Sonya hit her with her powers and all her stomach and back was going and all that type of shit?
Yeah, she like got gutted and shit or something.
Yeah.
The hell was her name? I forget her name, but yeah, she's a real character too. She had the long ponytail that she can whip you with that shit.
Yeah. So I gave it 2.5 out of 5. What would you give it?
I don't really do movies out of 5. I usually go with 10 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay, go ahead. Go to 10.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it like a 6.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was like I said, I wasn't paid to see it. We talked about the script and it was so sped up because it was when Sub-Zero was chasing the guy, he jumps in Jack's car. He jumps in Jack's car. Jack saves him. He told him to take the car to Sonya Blade. He can get over Sonya Blade.
Why did he can go with him? So I'm gonna hold Sub-Zero off. Y'all go ahead and get the Sonya Blade. That was stupid.
Right, because I'm like, look, we both gonna get in this car together. We both gonna go over there. I'm not. And he lost that's how he lost his arms. And another thing. Who got him? Who got him? One of them said they got him. Was it what's the guy named that had fire? That shot fire out his arms.
Shit, I forget.
Hold on. And sorry about doing this, y'all, because when I be looking at TV shows and all that shit, I don't follow none of these people's names. Okay. Cole Young was the leader name. Liu Kang. Liu Kang was the guy that spit the fire out. Yeah. And what's the one that shot out the Melina? That's the Joker mouth girl. Melina. Yeah, but other than the shitty plot and the script, like Philip said, it was entertaining. It was entertaining. Great fight scenes, and they was very graphic. Another movie I watched, Concrete Cowboys. Concrete Cowboys, I was pleasantly surprised. The only thing about Concrete Cowboys that I didn't really like, well, it's Lee Daniels. So of course, we going to have some black man treating his kid like shit, and they got to have some old gangster shit all in there. The movie would have been good if it was just them at the horse stable and gentrification taking over, and they could have had a movie just about that. It didn't have to have all that gangster shit in there.
Like the young boy that got killed. His dream was to buy like a horse stable away, like I think Virginia or something, like buy some land and get his own stable. But then he was undercutting the drug dealer that he was working with. Like that was so stupid. You knew they was gonna find you. Exactly. And the drug dealer even mentioned something about that earlier in the movie. You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of stupid. Why they even have to put that in there? You talking about
he said.
And
the movie could have been just like gentrification, and they gave it's only a handful of people that was real actors. Everybody else was people from the horse stable, and I thought that was cool because it made the movie genuine. It made it made the movie genuine, and shout out to Method Man playing Leroy. So shout out to him. And they gave my father's or host stable, they gave them props. And remember, I was telling you about how gentrification had took over when you were saying about how your wife didn't know it was horse stables. They pretty much told the same story in the movie, like I said to you. So I had he had 2 horse stables they mentioned. It was the White House and it was 31st Street. 31st Street is when you coming on Girard Avenue, and you know where that Aldi's there.
Yeah.
That first street, make a left at that first street and go all the way down. The horse stable used to be over there. So I haven't been back there in years, and of course, if I looked at it now, by looking at it now, I couldn't even tell you where that horse stable was at because it's houses all around there. It used to be a old Acme factory behind there, and behind the Acme factory is where the horse stable is. I couldn't even tell you where the Acme factory is at because it looks so much different. They got big high rises, and they got houses that look like your sister house. They got some of those houses around there.
And I was telling her, I remember in Southwest and in West Philly, like in the summertime, people would come through with horses. And she was like, I don't know about that. I'm like, yo, I'm telling you. I remember they used to you used to give them a couple dollars and they let you ride the horse. I remember like being in West Philly and they come up the block with the horses and everybody wanted to get a ride. Or you might just see like 3 or 4 horses like walking down the street with like people riding them real slow. I remember seeing that when I was little.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to a lady, Lorraine Toussaint. Lorraine Toussaint is the lady that ran the horse stable. I've been in a horse stable numerous times. I've never seen anyone at the horse stable dressed like her. Her hair was made up. She had lipstick on and everything. All the girls I seen at the horse stable looked like the young girl that was riding a horse with her. Not saying she was ugly or anything. It's just like she was just regular looking. That's how
not
they
all glammed up.
Right. They had her too glammed up and everything, and she was running the damn horse stable. But as we said, Lee Daniels, of course, you know, he have a man that treated his son like the son got there, and he just like he cared more about the horse that was in his house than his damn son and shit.
I have to disagree with that because his son came there with an attitude and didn't want to be there. So like his horse, he cared about his horse and he cared about his son, but he told him like, once you leave, I'm locking my doors, and it is what it is. They didn't have no relationship, and then the son pretty much was disrespecting him. So why should he still, reach out for him like that?
So why he ain't buy food?
What do you mean why he ain't buy food? He had to eat something.
He ain't buy food. The dude was buying him food. That's what it looked like. What was it? Smush was the drug dealer.
That's because he wanted to hang with the drug dealer. He could have hung with his pop and got some food.
But he ain't buy no damn food. It was like he was just there. And until at the end when they had got together. It's Lee Daniels, so you know you got to go through a black man. There's always a black man. Is always going to be seen as a negative in a Lee Daniels film. But this film right here is probably one of his best, and I was really surprised. So I give it a 4 out of 5. But on a scale of 10, on Phillips' scale of 10, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I really liked it a lot, and it should be. Looking at that Judas and the Black Messiah, this was definitely better than Judas and the Black Messiah. So if that won awards and the guy got an Oscar and all that shit, then this should be up there next year. I don't know how they're gonna do it or whatever, but it should be up there. So what did you think?
I gave it an 8. It was a good movie. I was entertained.
All right, now, as we talked about over here numerous times, we talked about Married at First Sight, and things didn't go exactly to plan as I thought, because I don't know what the hell Pilot is doing, staying married to that girl.
Yeah, I don't understand why any of them stayed with the ones they stayed with.
And a shout out to our girl Paige, who said out loud, well, they had their meeting, and Chris had brought up the revelation that the baby that the other girl had, she had a miscarriage. So he walks out, she files him, he comes back in, and it was like she wanted to get back with him, and she said out loud that since the baby is out of the way, then maybe they could pursue the relationship. She said that shit out loud. And our doctor with those big legs, it was another example of how women always defend another women, because she the one that stood up. She stood up to Chris about trying to take her side, and Paige is just sitting there like a dingbat. And then she's talking about she looked at me like She needed some help. No, she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
No, she didn't. She didn't do none of that. And she said that since the baby, I couldn't believe that she would say something out like that out loud. And I'm guarantee you, next week at the reunion, they're either together now or they got together after the reunion, but they may have broke up. There's something going on there
They
between them
together
two,
and she pregnant.
probably. And did you see like when they do like the next how they
The
show like
preview of
little
the next
yeah.
episode, yeah.
Did she lose weight?
I can't really tell.
Okay. She has that Michelin man neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she way too young to have that damn neck like that. So we got Russell Wilson and his wife. They stayed together. Russell Wilson to me ain't a bad guy. It's just that not sleeping with her is kind of weird to me. I don't get
Mm-hmm.
that.
I don't like how he would give other people advice and how he would say like my relationship is great, this and that, when it really wasn't, because this girl over here crying damn near every night. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was like some bullshit.
That she's getting him off, but she's not getting anything in return.
Right? How does she do that?
I don't get it. Because if it's all about a religious thing, how in the world are you married on a reality show if you so hardcore religious?
Right. That's like I said. That's making a mockery of the whole religion thing anyway.
Mm-hmm. And we got Muscle Bound, or as Philip called him, Gronk, and his girl. They didn't stay together. Of course, we already seen that. If I was him, I wouldn't even show the hell up. But I'm pretty sure.
She talking about she put every effort into making it work. Sure you did, girl.
Mm-hmm. And he said that we had talked about how he said that she was disgusted by him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of figured that too. It's like that 80 shit, like turned her off. But
It
that
don't matter because she's still boarding clothes, so she just kept finding more reasons not to like him. She just didn't like him.
Yep. And my man, you got to give him props because he did everything. He stopped with that 80s talk, and like you said, the clothes she bought him, he wore the clothes that she bought him. He was trying to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to. So we got, last but not least, we got Latino brother and the sister. They stayed together, and the sister, she better get pregnant. That's all I got to say about her because our Latino brothers, they don't play that. They want to have kids right away. They don't play that waiting for a year and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't
what
think
is
she
that?
want to have kids though.
or they better do something. Or he gonna bring. He going through Esperanza.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work out.
He gonna bring Esperanza off the island and come up here. He gonna lie and say, "Oh, that's my cousin," and then they gonna be wired up in the bed together. She better watch it.
Well, what she expect? He don't got no kids. He want kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not real young to the point where she can just be waiting all these years.
Right.
Just like the other show I started watching with Big Ed.
Mm-hmm.
The one girl, I think she said she's 45. The cop don't have no kids, but she's sitting there like, I'm not having no kids, and I hope it don't change our relationship. Well, of course it is. He want kids.
Right. Now, what you call the brother?
The fake cop?
Yeah, what you call him?
What do you mean what I call him?
Oh,
Team Straight Hand?
No, you called him something else based on his teeth.
Goof Troop?
Yes. and then and she's also stupid too, because why the hell would he deny a baby? And she 45-year-old with 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
If he said it ain't his kid, it ain't his kid. Why would he deny a kid to you? Like,
so
you
she went on his ex page, saw a little girl on a page or a little boy on a page, and just assumed that it was his. You broke up with her 4 years ago. This baby is 4, so it gotta be your kid, and it look like you. You know what they say? Oh, we all look alike, huh?
Right. So, what are any movies or TV shows you watched?
Not really. I've been watching Godfather of Harlem.
Okay. Did you
I
watch?
still watch Bear Grylls and Naked Afraid.
I didn't get a chance to watch. I told everybody I was going to watch an episode of Bear Grylls. I didn't get a chance this last week, so I'll see if I can watch it.
I think it's season 2 that he say start off with.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Hmm.
But the last episode of Bear Grylls I watched, ain't nobody like the dude named Phil. I'm like, oh, it had to be his name Phil, huh? This motherfucker was laying on his ass, and he was like, I'm tending to the fire. They like, you lay on your butt all the time. You don't do nothing. So they voted him off the show. And you ain't even supposed to be voting people off the show. You know what I mean? But they voted him off the show.
Right. I like how we do these movie reviews too. I think we should like pick a movie and shit and that we can watch for the week. I can't think of one offhand because I'm like so behind in movies and the movies that Mortal Kombat and the Concrete Cowboy. Phil already seen these, so I'm like way behind in movies.
I usually try to find a movie maybe like once a night or something like that. Every
Mhm.
other night or something. Try to find something. Yeah, it's like really since all this COVID stuff, it kind of slowed Hollywood down. So it hasn't really been no movies out. So when something do pop up, if it look interesting, you're like, all right, I need to check that out.
Right. All right. Last but not least, the Eagles had came out with their 2021 season schedule. Preseason, we got week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, home game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 2, home game against the New England Patriots, and week 3 is no date is against the New York Jets at New York Jets. So regular season starts off September the 12th at Atlanta Falcons. Week 2, September the 19th, first home game, San Francisco 49ers. Week 3, September 27th at Dallas Cowboys. Week 4, October the 3rd, Kansas City Chiefs. Week 5, October the 10th at Carolina Panthers. Week 6, October the 14th, Super Bowl champs Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Week 7, October 24th at Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas, the stadium didn't open up last year, or they opened up last year, but they didn't have fans in there, right?
I'm not sure.
All right. Week 8, Halloween at Detroit Lions. Week 9, November the 7th, Los Angeles Chargers. Week 10, November the 14th at Denver Broncos. Week 11, November 21st, New Orleans Saints. Week 12, November the 28th, New York Giants. Week 13, September the 5th, New York Jets. We got a bye week on week 14. Week 15, it's Saturday or Sunday. It's one of them flex games. We got Washington football team. Week 16, December 26th, New York Giants. Week 17, January the 2nd, at Washington. And last game is week 18, January the 9th, Dallas Cowboys. And what you think about this long season that they doing?
Is an extra game there, right?
Yes.
I don't mind it because I like football. That's like my number one sport, to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's right for the players, and it's kind of messed up for the record books because now numbers are going to be even better than because you get an extra game, you get extra numbers. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of messing up. It's kind of messing up that tradition and those records and stuff.
So, I don't like basing the season on just the schedule just been released this week. So I don't want to base off the season or they should beat them and all that stuff. But
well, we can wait until a little bit later on to do that.
Yeah, but by looking at it, the Eagles got the beginning. I say up to week 4, week 5. Eagles have they have an easy schedule.
I only see really
Chiefs, Buccaneers.
3 hard games on our schedule.
Chief Buccaneers. Would you call the Chargers a hard schedule?
No,
A hard team?
no.
Yes. Well, all you got to do is
The Chiefs, the Buccaneers, and Dallas, because with Dak and them being back, we should be able to take one of them. You know what I mean?
right.
But I see Dallas, and plus it's a division game. They kind of tough. Even though I think Washington won the division, they trash. Giants is trash.
Mm-hmm. Who's the Washington's quarterback?
Washington quarterback?
Is it Ryan Fitzpatrick?
I don't know. That's the problem. I don't think they have a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't never hear them talking about a quarterback.
I don't think they have one. So whoever they picked up and signed, that's what's going to be. Did they draft a quarterback? Maybe they drafted one. Ain't nobody to worry about.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick will be the starting quarterback of Washington.
He's a solid backup, but he's not really a good starter.
No. Mm-mm. No, it's somebody you like to have on your team in case your starting quarterback get hurt. You know, he can come in the game and do something, but putting the ball in his hands, nah. Well, I was thinking that next week was the end of the NBA season, but it'll be during this week. So I'm assuming the playoffs will be starting during the week, so we can
playoffs will probably be next week.
Oh, okay. I thought it was this coming week.
Because they're playing games tonight. And I think it might be like a couple other teams that might have a game left after that. Because there's only like 1 or 2 games left in the season. So I see like maybe next week the playoffs might start. Because they don't even have like all the seeding down. They have to wait to finish these games tonight. And if anybody has any games left after that, you know what I mean? They got to play those out.
So I guess we can get with Ryan Gutierrez and have our NBA playoff show. I guess that'll be sometime next week. I don't know what time because you know he's in Arizona, so I don't know how that time going to act on the time zone. But we'll work it out.
All right.
Well, all right, everybody. You know where to reach us. You reach us on Facebook and Twitter at P&L Judgmentals, Instagram at the2_judgmentals. Or you can email us at pnljudgmentals@gmail.com. I forgot that the Judgmentals do have a TikTok at PNL Judgmentals, and our son Philip, when Philip told the story about the guy falling, I hate to laugh because that dude probably damn near he's got to probably be paralyzed or hurt something. How Philip had told the story about the guy had fell.
Oh, that was funny how you set that up too.
Yeah, the damn fool was like jerking on it, just how you said, like he trying to catch.
Like, you see how he was pulling it and shit to see if it was stable.
Yeah, the fool was like pulling back on it instead of just going across. Instead, he trying to see if like he can make it through or whatever. My man fell straight down, and that was a far drop too.
It was,
and
he was a skinny dude. He was a skinny dude. I think he fucked his back and his neck up. He's not. I don't think he was paralyzed, but I think he fucked his neck and his back up.
And you ever see how a cat like fall from a long distance and how they try to like his arms is flailing on the rock.
Yep.
Like, I said, damn, I hate to laugh at this, man, but hey, look, they showed it on camera. But then the camera was all funny because they ain't even show it all the way through. They just showed him falling. But then once he hit the ground and shit, they like zoomed the camera out to the ocean. and then the sister like looking like this surprised look on her face. I'm like, what is this fool doing? And just the way you described it was exactly how the way it went. Well, all right, everybody, say hi, Ava.
She can't hear you. Hold on. Here, I'm gonna give it to her.
Say hi, Ava.
Say hi. Say hi. Say in the mic. Say hi. Right there. Say hi. Now she being all shy.
Right. Well, all right, y'all.
All right. Peace out.
Hey, yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man. fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you're mad at me just by how your face look. You can check the status on my level, not my Facebook. Comments on my photos, that's why I stay on the low. Most of y'all is associates, so I be on my dolo. Hold up, woke that, whoa, hold the phone. You think all I do is rap? I can do it on my own. That's why I produce the track. Don't wonder where my crew is at.